Carrie, is Arlene, it seems like we're setting up Arlene to have a new, like, hot vampire man in her life. Is that correct?
Maybe. I mean, like I was saying earlier to you, I don't think you introduce a hot vampire and True Blood without doing something with him. I feel like this season I kind of arrived on True Blood because I got a vampire exploding in my crotch. So that happened, and so I had the blood all over me, and I had to learn from all of these guys how to remove the blood from your body, which is shaving cream, BT does.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know if you guys know that, but yeah, and then yeah, maybe there's some stuff coming up between Arlene and Keith that I've never had to do ever on camera before.
And Anna and Steven, you guys, we talked about this before, but you guys have more scenes together this season. Like, there's a lot. It feels like Bill and Sookie are sort of kind of finding their way back to each other. Is that true? I don't know if we can say it.
Don't answer
Feel that.
Bucky?
All right. I mean, is there hope for Bill and Sookie? Can they make it?
They might. They're in each other's spheres for sure. Yeah, it's better that I handle this one. Look, at the end of the day, it's a television show, right? And
Yeah.
This show started out and worked because of the chemistry they shared.
Yeah.
They got married for Christ's sake.
It's all for the show.
Yeah, as soon as this is over.
Thanks for waiting. But yeah, no, I mean, I certainly felt going into it that we had to come back to Bill and Sookie. You know, how we're coming back to them, we're not telling you. But that's about it.
Yeah.
It's always good to say.
Of course, we could intentionally, put these two back together on screen.
Have you guys liked playing opposite each other more? Because I feel like there was a time where you guys, especially when Bill was sort of crazy Lilith Bill, there was a lot of separation. Did you guys?
Well, no, obviously I hate spending time with him as I married.
Right, of course. It's terrible.
I torture myself. No, it's the way our show generally works. We're generally shooting 2 episodes almost at the same time for most of the time. So in seasons where Steve and I have not had as many scenes, we're literally on like 2 different TV shows. So,
Right.
Not even, maybe see each other briefly at work. So yes, I actually really do enjoy getting to see my husband.
What about you, Steve?
I feel incredibly lucky to have got to work with Anna at all, and so getting to do any stuff is fantastic. And I have missed working with her. And as Anna said, sometimes we don't actually get to see each other at work and only at home. I mean, I as an actor on this show, have got to do most of my stuff with Anna and with Deborah and Woll, and that's an unbelievable embarrassment of riches. And this year, also, I've got to work with Bauer, who I have enormous respect for. So it's just incredible. We've got an unbelievable cast, and I get to work with all these wonderful people. And thank you, Bucky, for giving me a couple of those scenes.
Brian, when you, for example, with Tara, we've seen a lot of death this season on True Blood with Tara and Elsie. Is that a conversation, do you wait and tell the actor that until the script is written, or do you know that, do you tell them at the beginning of the season? How do you sort of handle that?
No, I think waiting at this point would be barbaric.
Right.
No, I mean, we had the conversation, and we talked about why, and I think that it's hard to take the news, but we've had a show with this cast of many, and we do a lot of teasing that there's going to be consequences, and I think if a band of marauding, hungry vampires comes to town, something's got to happen, or you kind of got no stakes in the world of your show. So you know, it's sad. I feel a bit like an executioner, but you know, I think we handled it as best we could between us. I think it hurts. I mean, it's so funny. This panel is a little bit sad, right? Like
Last man standing.
Yeah, but you know, there's loss for all of us. So it's you know, bittersweet. But
Rutina, when you got the news, what did you think? Were you shocked? Were you prepared? Or were you kind of at peace with it?
No, I wasn't prepared. I remember being like, oh, I'm the first. But I was okay with it. I was okay with it because I got a kick-ass fight.
Yeah.
And I was really excited about that fight. So, for me, it was cool to see Tara go out fighting. Thought that was a good way to see her go out. So I was okay with it. I mean, after a while, I had to get over stuff. That was cool.
and again, her story wasn't over.
Right.
You get a certain amount of backlash going, I can't believe they did it that way. It's like, hold on.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Hold on, we may be telling a story you don't expect here.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's sort of hard to bite your tongue, but I did. Yeah.
How was the party? In last week's episode, they had a big kind of celebration for celebrating Elsie's life and Tara's. Was that fun to shoot? Because that was probably one of the first times you guys have all been in a room together for a while. I mean, you're always kind of separated. Was that a fun sort of sequence?
Yes and absolutely not.
Oh.
A party that had little pieces of it in different locations on different days with different actors that actually ended up lasting for about 3 months.
Oh dear. Wait, why?
Because of scheduling and
okay.
who has to work when and where you're shooting things. Like literally we were still shooting pieces from the party probably a good month after we started.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I was exaggerating 3, but I mean it was kind of weird to try to maintain
Drunkenness.
or just like continuity.
Yeah.
Maintain drunkenness.
But that was some of my favorite stuff. Some of my favorite stuff was in that episode. Because I'm really partial to drunk Arlene. I love it when they give me stuff like that to do. And Anna and I, before we would do the scene where we were doing shots right at the beginning, we stand up and spin around, so we get really dizzy and stuff. So you're doing that for like 5 hours. You start to feel really drunk. And then doing that scene with Keith, and then having to go make Tinkle and all that stuff. It was really fun.
Who got the wildest at the cast at the wrap party? Who was like the party? Who was the most fun at that party? Out of you guys?
Greg Feinberg.
Yeah. Was he like sloppy or was he like?
No.
Okay.
Full of love.
Yeah. I mean, Kristin, you and Alex are very close. I mean, this must be, I don't want to get emotional, but this must be this must have been a really hard thing to say goodbye. I remember Brian told me that, your last scenes together, I think, are very, they're very intense, they're very emotional.
Yeah, and I've been crying for like a year about when that day would come, and so as I got closer and closer, I started telling Alex, and I had my last. Remember, we were having a scene, and Stephen at one point said, "This is our last scene." And then I was like, "And with you, and with you." There's so many laughs, and they hit me at odd times, but with Alex, that's the most significant relationship for me and with him. And I thought he would be rock solid sweet. But when I saw him crack, and I kept telling him, let's just say, see you tomorrow, just like any other day. And I was like, oh no, see you tomorrow, see you tomorrow. And I just tried to get out of there. And, you weren't there. It was really sweet. And then there were many laughs, and then I thought my last was the last, and we didn't get part of it, and then there was another, and so on my last, because there are 2 crews running at the same time, almost everybody was on the lot, and they orchestrated incredibly sweet, and thank you.